Street art isn't vandalism. It's the oldest form of public communication humans have, and it never stopped evolving. From the prose murals of 1970s New York to $1 million anonymous artists who turned an entire city to a living installation. Street art has become one of the most powerful lessons we have in the, to understand power, space, identity, and capitalism. October 2013, an anonymous outlaw worth $1 million at auction walked into the most surveilled, most opinionated city on earth. No gallery, no permit, no name. Before we talk about what Banksy did, you need to understand what Banksy is. He's completely anonymous in a digital age where anonymity is nearly impossible. New York isn't just Banksy's stage, it's the birthplace of the entire language he speaks. Graffiti was born here in the 70s, in the Bronx, in the Lower East Side. Every morning for 31 consecutive days, the same loop fired. A group 2 post goes up on his website with a satirical audio guide. This residency had no single format, it had an entire arsenal, a stencil of a girl holding a balloon which only activated when someone physically stood in front of it. What most people miss about this residency is that Banksy didn't control the art after the drop. He controlled the trigger. Fans rushed into hidden locations for Instagram photos. Inside the graffiti community, Banksy is a sellout, full stop. He crossed from the street into the gallery, and a lot of the people never forgave him for it. This one episode says everything. Banksy places a stone sphinx sculpture into an empty dirt lot in Flushing, Queens. While millions of New Yorkers were hunting hashtags, the gatekeepers sat on the sidelines. Our forum, the Bible defined our world, has zero mentions of the residency. One afternoon, Banksy quietly set up a stall in Central Park on sale, 100% authenticated, original Banksy canvas works, price $60 each. Step 1. Buy a generic landscape painted from a Housing Works thrift store. Cost $50. Five Points in Queens was a sacred ground, a rare safe haven for aerosol artists from around the world. Now step back and look at all 31 days together. These stencils were bait. The true artwork was a performance of New York City itself. And then came the finale, and it was perfect. The last piece, an inflammable throw up of Miller balloons, spelling out Bensky. And he left us with this: outsiders where art shall live amongst us, where it can act as public service, provoke debate, voice concerns, and forge identities. Don't we all want to live in a world made of art, not just a career by it? The question is still unanswered.